Border 2, a spectacle of patriotism undermined by an unrealistic narrative. Border 2, the much anticipated sequel to J.P. Datta's iconic 1997 war film Border, attempts to revive the emotional intensity and patriotic fervor of original. However, despite its grand scale, star power, and high production values, Border 2 struggles to achieve narrative credibility, largely due to its over-dramatized and unrealistic portrayal of modern warfare and military conduct. The film positions itself as a tribute to the bravery of Indian soldiers, but in doing so, it sacrifices realism of exaggerated heroism. Unlike original Border, which despite its melodrama retained a grounded depiction of the 1997 war, Border 2 presents combat sequences that resemble action fantasy rather than a disciplined military operation. Soldiers are shown single-handedly overpowering enemy units, surviving impossible explosions, and delivering long patriotic monologues in the middle of active combat zones, scenes that strain believability and undermine the seriousness of war. One of the most glaring weaknesses of the Border 2 is its simplistic portrayal of the enemy. The opposing side is depicted in a one-dimensional, almost caricatured manner, lacking strategic intelligence or human complexity. This binary hero versus villain approach reduces a complex geopolitical conflict into a predictable narrative of absolute good versus absolute evil. Such representation may generate instant emotional response but fails to reflect the realities of modern warfare, which involves strategy, diplomacy, intelligence, and restraint rather than constant frontline bravado. The film also ignores contemporary military realities. Advanced surveillance systems, air power coordination, cyber warfare, and command hierarchies are either oversimplified or completely sidelined. Instead, the narrative relies heavily on hand-to-hand combat and heroic last strengths, presenting war as a taste of physical courage alone rather than coordinated strategy. This approach not only feels outdated but also misleading in the context of 21st century conflicts. Emotionally, Border 2 attempts to recreate the sentimental impact of the original by focusing on soldiers' family, romantic subplots, and sacrifice. While these elements are essential to war cinema, they are often inserted forcefully and lack organic development. Emotional scenes feel engineered rather than earned, resulting in melodrama that borders on emotional manipulation. Technically, the film excels cinematography, background score, and action choreography. The battlefield visuals are expansive, and the music successfully evokes nationalistic sentiment. However, technical brilliance cannot compensate for a weak and unrealistic script. When realism is compromised, even the most visually stunning war sequences lose their impact. In conclusion, Border 2 emerges as a visually impressive but narratively flawed war film. Its exaggerated patriotism and unrealistic depiction of warfare dilute the emotional gravity that made the original Border memorable. While the film may appeal to audience seeking spectacle and nationalistic emotion, viewers expecting a credible, thoughtful, and realistic portrayal of war are likely to be disappointed.